Let's see what I do. Hi, everyone. It is me, Sailor Moon, and me, Molly here, even though she's small, more like a keychain doll, so the smallest dolls I think that they make, but I could be wrong about that. So, today we're going to talk about, worship in Sailor Moon, but first we're going to talk about that. A lot of folks out there might say that worship has little nothing to do in Sailor Moon, and for most thought you could say that was true, but there are some things that come up. Now, the first thing that comes up would be the Holy Man, who Molly first meets after she is still sad over Nephrite's death, and this is the same way in both Deke and Viz, so it's not like they shifted that. They kept that in. And, you know, and this holy man whose name was never given, you know, happened to have one of the rainbow hearse that Zoisite was after. Well, it wasn't that he was a fiend in his past life, it was more like that the rainbow hearse, that he was born with that rainbow hearse in him and lived his whole life not knowing he had the rainbow hearse. And after God and Jesus working for Sailor Moon heals him of the fiend that took over him, he says, I must tell the world about fighting. We must do all we can to get it out of our lives, which was the Deke saying for the end of it. Viz's saying was, do you believe in God? Well, I do. Go to your fellow man, your fellow woman. Now, that's the last time that is the only time, well, I'm not going to say it's the last time he shows up, because when Aldeling Darien was brainwashed by Queen Beryl for Queen Metalia, he was going after everyone, and he was one of the folks that he had gotten, that he had taken. Now, the next time that it comes up, is keep in mind that I have dreams or daydreams of me and Darien getting wedlocked, and it happens to be at a Christendom worship house of some kind. What arm of Christendom? Well, you can just pick which one, And once again, it comes up, only this time it's a holy woman, when Tiger's Eye goes after her, believing that her dream might be where Helios is in. It shifts out not to be true, but he takes the upper hand on her and shames her for believing that God and Jesus would, that God and Jesus would help her and keep her well from him. At least that's what he says in Viz. And Deke, it is, Now, keep in mind that might be the only times that Christendom shows up in Sailor Moon. No, I take that back, because Sailor Stars, there is a holy woman who moonlights as a film overseer, where the free lights work as, show players in some film that they're working on, and she likes everyone to be flawless and gets irked at anyone when they're not being flawless. Or was it some kind of song film that she was making? So, and she also happens, Sailor Galaxy happens to send happens to send one of her underlings after her. Now, the next worship that comes up in Sailor Moon, Molly, you want to take this? Yeah, the next worship that comes up in Sailor Moon will be Sintunism. And it only comes up as the grounds that underneath Ray's, Sintu worship house, which is sometimes called, the Holy House on Cherry Hill or Red Hill. And Ray's grandfather is the head owner of it, as well as the head holy man. And a lot of folks do tend to go there either to ask for help, to either buy some good luck stones, or to have some wishes given, given to God and Jesus in their behalf. Now, keep in mind that Deke handles worship a little unlike from how Viz handles it. Viz's handling it comes off the way it was meant to be, or at least. Now, I know there are many other worships in Sailor Moon's world, but these are only first two to come up. And I know some folks are going to say that, oh, well, and most of the time, Sailor Moon, Serena, Amy, Ray, Lita, and Mina isn't always helping out there, or it's their meeting stead. And there are times where folks go there, to buy good luck stones, or to have wishes, or done, or just whatever worship help that they need. So those are the two worships that come up in Sailor Moon. Now, as I said, there are going to be folks out there that say, oh, worship doesn't play anything into it. They only put it in there to make it lifelike. Well, it's true in Dawnland that there are folks from all kinds of worships. Yes, Shintoism being the main worship of Dawnland, but it doesn't mean everybody is. Some folks might belong to Christendom or Judaism or Islamdom, and the sundriest others might belong to, Buddhism, if it's a worship or not. Some folks say it is, some folks say it's not. You make up your mind on that one. And a lot of folks are going to say, does worship do anything? Does it show up in the book? Well, to say, I don't know if it does or does it not shows up in the books, but I know in PGSM, the Live Farseer show, it does show up. Ray's worship house was shown many times, and Ray herself is shown there, even though her grandfather is not in it, and the PGSM. And Holy Man is, a fiend does take over him when Ray and Mina happen to meet there, and Mina happens to ask God and Jesus to help her overcome the mind growth that Lucifer has given her, and they also a dog that someone is lost and they have to take care of until they can seek who owns the dog. And that Holy Man, who need or need not be the same Holy Man from the Drawling show, happens to have a fiend take over him. So yeah, and he's in PGSM at the end. Serena and Darian do get wedlocked at a Christendom worship palace, whatever arm of Christendom it is. Your guess is as good as mine. Yeah, you're right, Molly. At the end of the day, worship tends to be shown in Sailor Moon. If it happens to play into it, or was there only to make the show lifelike, your guess is as good as mine. So we'll just have to leave it as that. All right, folks, give your thoughts on this film and tell me if you think that worship being in Sailor Moon was only in the show to make it lifelike. Do you think worship plays a big grounds in the Sailor Moon, or do you not? Or do you think that Christendom and Shintoism being in the Sailor Moon world is just showing that showing the two main worships in Dawnland today? I, Sailor Moon Serena, and I, Molly, and we'll see you later.